Hey, good morning, VC. Got quite the stack to go through today. Hope you guys are all doing well. Um, yeah, I've been listening to a lot of music lately, and been pretty fortunate with some of my pickups. And yeah, just gonna go over some stuff I got with you today. Hope you guys are all doing well. I know I am. So, without further ado, I gotta find a way to frame this stupid camera better. Anyway, here we go. There you go. More me. Anyway, uh, first record we're gonna go over, um, picked up in the dollar bin, I believe, and it's the Nice. Ars Luga Vita Brevis, and I like the Nice. I like Emerson. I think that's who it is from ELP. Um, and here's the thing: I'm not sure if this is a comp or a full blown release, but it does have America on it, like the cover of America. And pretty much every Nice record I've ever picked up has this cover of America on it. So I don't know. It's definitely their calling card, but it's sort of proggy psych. Just wacko stuff. It's fantastic. I really, really. I was expecting this to be okay. It coming from the dollar bin and all. Really, really kind of impressed by this. I love the heavy keyboards. I love which is kind of funny because when I was growing up, um, it's pretty much strictly metal, and anytime I heard keyboards, I was not impressed. Not impressed at all. And these days, I really dig it, especially sort of the kind of keyboards that you get with the Nice and sort of ELP and stuff like that. And, I don't know all the technical terms on it and stuff. I don't know if it's Moog or if it's what, but I really dig it. I think it's just as powerful of an instrument as the guitar sometimes. And yeah, anyway, but the Nice, great record. I guess some of it's based on classic. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit and ramble off things that I'm just making up. Next was a record that just fantastic. Frank Zappa, Hut Rats. Um, Never heard this before. Um, Picked this up rather inexpensively as well. Here's my thoughts on Frank Zappa after hearing this record. Absolute genius. Just an amazing. Actually, Captain Beefheart does the vocals on one of these tracks. On the what's the name of it? Willie the Pimp, I guess. And I guess they had quite the long and tumultuous relationship, these two. But anyhow, just a thick record. I just really, really dig it. And there's like there's no Zappa trademark comedy stuff. It's just an amazing sort of guitar-driven bananas record. And I got to tell you, I've often avoided Frank Zappa just because of the wackiness sometimes, and now I'm gonna have to delve deeper because this record just floored me. Just absolutely floored me. Just like I said, it's a thick record. It's really good. I don't even know what thick means. I'm just trying to not to use fantastic. Anyway, cheers. Cup of coffee number 3. Next is, you know, this band, I went through a little phase when I was a kid that I really liked this band. It wasn't a very long phase. It was a pretty quick one, and it was in the summer when me and a couple friends lived in cars in Vermont in the woods. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, Working Man's Dead. Great record. You know, a lot of the Dead stuff I can take or leave. You know, but I think, you know, this record has some just amazing stuff. I mean, you know, Dire Wolf has always been one of my favorite songs by the Dead. You know, I've never listened to any of their bootlegs or anything like that. I guess they're well known for their jamming skills and their noodling. But this little record, it's you know, it's really sort of concise and great storytelling, and just, you know, I don't have a bad thing to say about this. Maybe because it's a record from my youth. I don't know. I dig it. Let's see. Trying to be concise because I've got more records than normal, and I don't want to blather on too much about stuff that I'm just making up, like I mentioned. Next record is an EP. Sisters of Mercy. I don't actually know if this thing has it doesn't have a title. I guess Temple of Love. Yeah, here we go. And it's this little sticker on it. I don't know if you can see it. Manufactured by Brain Eater Records. Never actually saw anything, but it's got Temple of Love, which is a fantastic song. Really, really great. Really expresses sort of what the Sisters of Mercy were, in my opinion. You know, sort of that baritone vocal and the repetition and the sort of dancey goth stuff that's you know, what it is. And you know, when I first started listening to this, because it also has a cover of "Give Me Shelter" by the Rolling Stones, and I sort of rolled my eyes at that. I was like, who needs that? It's actually, you know, for a guy who hates covers, which I usually do, solid effort. Decent cover. You know, will I be listening to it every day for inspiration? No. But they did a solid job. Anyway. I'm slowly creeping on, these last three records. Really great stuff. Now, let's start with this one. AC/DC, Let There Be Rock. I've always enjoyed AC/DC. I don't think, if you had asked me about AC/DC, I would have been like, yeah, AC/DC is fine. Just, you know, a little repetitive. A lot of their songs sound the same. You know, some of it's good. But I wouldn't really have much of an opinion on it. This record, Let There Be Rock, my God, this is sort of a standard. I mean, there's not a wasted note on this thing. It's just from beginning to end a balls out rocker, and you know, there's not a ton of hits on this thing. And when I put the record on, it's another one I picked up rather inexpensively, and when I did, I was put it on. I was just like floored with how just amazing this record is. It's heavy. It's just, well, I don't even need descriptions. It's a rocker, man. And when this came out, other bands must have listened to this and just been like, we need to step up our game, because this thing is amazing. And I've listened to it a couple times since, and just great. The whole band's really in sync, and everything's they're just going for it, and it's just wow. I never expected to be so floored by an AC/DC record, but I've never heard anything that they did that was better. But man, what a record. Anyway, AC/DC, Let There Be Rock. The next I got was I believe this is an import from, shit, I don't know, from somewhere in Europe. It's actually in really nice, pretty nice shape here. It's Railway Climax. Now, take a look at that cover. If that's not the most disturbing thing you've ever seen. Look at these guys. So the first time I put this on, I was like, this is terrible. And I was talking to my friend about it, and he was like, you're wrong. And this is a person that doesn't usually just flat out be like, no, you're wrong. He's somebody who values everybody's opinion and everything else. And I had to go back and listen to it, and I'll be damned if he wasn't right. It's on Roadrunner. Anyway, this thing runs the spectrum of stuff, because the first time I heard it, all I sort of heard was almost glammy, proto Bon Jovi, and this was '87. Sort of almost rocky ballads. And then I listened to it again, and then I heard new wave of British heavy metal, and then I listened to it again, and I almost even heard speed metal at times. This thing is really varied and nuanced, and kind of surprised you haven't. I've never heard of this band before. I haven't, and my friend Jesse from my local record shop, let me know that this came in, and I was just like, oh, okay, whatever, I'll give it a spin. And boy, I'm sure glad I did. Some really fantastic stuff on this. I don't have a ton of words to say on this, but yeah, Railway Climax. But they do have one song called "Boys Get Drunk." Yeah, it's at the very end of side one. This is pretty much fantastic, and I think the lyrics are just boys get drunk, boys get wild. Yeah, it's just and a lot of this is stupid stuff. Like there's a lot of songs about rocking. Well, yeah, songs like Heavy and Loud and Boys Get Drunk and First Shot and Ready to Rock. There's and I'm on Fire and Don't Try to Mess with Us. High Wire, come on. They're all pretty short songs. There's one song that cracks the 4-minute mile. Oh, actually two. But otherwise, they're just sort of 2.5-minute songs. Concise, fun. I hesitate to use the word party rock, but there's some party rock in here. So yeah, really sort of surprised on this one. And I'm happy to admit I was wrong, because that means I get a fantastic record out of it. You know what I mean? Instead of just sort of listening to something once and being like, I don't need to hear that, and then maybe pulling it out like 2 years later and then finding out it's great. So yeah, I was pretty happy that that turned out to be great. Now, the last record is I hate to use the word grail. I think it's bandied about quite often, and but this was one for me. This is something I haven't actively been looking for, but it's one of those records that I was like, well, if I ever see it, and it's pretty unlikely I would, um, that I would immediately grab it, and is Coven's "Witchcraft Destroys Minds and Reaps Souls." It is the gatefold cover. I'm not going to pull it out because it's a little bit brittle, and it's a little bit. I've never purchased a record in worse condition. I haven't. But you just don't see these come up. I guess you do. I mean, I guess people in the know do, but I don't. And it's got writing on the label. Honestly, the vinyl itself is a bit, well, it's pretty heavily worn, and there's some scratches on it, and there's definitely some scuffs, and if this was any other record, I absolutely would have passed, but this is something I've always really wanted, because I think the songs are fantastic, and Jinx Dawson, who's just the singer on this thing, she's fantastic, and there's a guy on this. It predates Black Sabbath, and they have a song called Black Sabbath on it, and one of the guys' names is Oz Osbourne, and absolutely, I'm sure it is got nothing to do with Black Sabbath. I just think it just happened to be that way, but side two, there's a couple of songs, quick songs on it, and then the whole rest of the second side is a satanic mass, and which is absolutely just hilarious. It's so campy and everything else, and it's just it's not something you're gonna listen to every day, but yeah, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. But the first side has a bunch of songs on it, a lot of fun, really good. I don't know how to describe it if you haven't heard Coven. Psych folk. I don't know. I guess their claim to fame, aside from this record, is they did a song for the movie One Tin Soldier. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I actually don't even know that song. I only know this record from listening to it ad nauseum on YouTube. But let me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this to be my lead picture. I hope I can. But yeah, it's a gatefold, and the inside would probably just get censored by. Let me just pull it out. I don't care. Yeah, do this. But the lyric sheet, the last part is just completely separated. But here is the inside. I don't know if that's going to get me in trouble for, I don't know, nudity or whatever, but as you can see, the lyric things are completely separated. I didn't care. I saw it. And I just had to have it because I really wanted it. And to find one of these things in good really good condition, you're gonna pay an arm and a leg, and that's something I can't do. But I'm just thrilled as anything to have found this, and I listened to it. There's noise and there's whatever in it, but I'm just absolutely thrilled. I don't care. it's just the fact that I have it makes me so happy. That was one of my birthday presents to myself, and you know, I got such a good deal on it because of the condition and whatever. I'm happy. So I can't think. I don't really think I have um, very many other grails. Yeah, I guess I do, but nothing that ever touched that. So that was sort of the pinnacle for me. So, I'm sure somewhere along the line there'll be some other stuff, or I'll find some stuff and it'll be cool. But anyway, I just realized how long I've been going on and blathering. So I'm gonna stop this because it's just bananas. Um, hope all is well. Hope all goes good. And thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.